Last but not least, structured versus creative editing. How did this get here? This got here because I was in my review stage yesterday, and I think it was 16 or 17, and I was talking about my creative process and my output and the times of day that I'm best at doing certain tasks. And I said a few times, like, I'm not really good at editing at night. I could be creative at night, but there's an element of the editing process that, like, don't ask me to do it at certain times of the day. Creativity and editing usually goes into a morning space. But I was thinking just about this process too, and how this editing process is there's really no creativity involved in it at all at this point. It's a system now. It's cut it like this, these 4 cameras, back to back, boom. When you say this here, this camera goes here. When you do this there, that goes there. Like, there's nothing. It's actually quite boring, to be honest, to edit these episodes. So I had a realization yesterday. I'm sitting here down, editing at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, saying, I thought I didn't like editing at night. I thought there was something about this process that I wasn't my best in these late hours. And that's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's a whole lie. One, we could force ourselves into doing things that we need to do, whether they be ideal or not. So sure, I might not like doing this thing at this time, but if I sit down and I do it at this time enough times, I can create the ability to deliver in a space that's not my most ideal. But also there's bills and things got to get done. And I've really shaken off this, like, I need to be in this ideal space to do specific work. I need to feel like this. Like, it's all about, how rappers and shit smoke weed, do drugs, and then they have to get in a certain vibe to go and record and make the music how it comes out. It's like, one, that's a crutch, and it's a lame excuse. Like, if artists and creative people are gonna, like, wait for the perfect moment, like, it's nonsense. It's garbage. It's lame. Sure, certain elements of creativity you gotta have, the stars have to align, but you need to just show up and do it. The more you show up and do it in the least ideal situations, the easier it becomes, the better you will perform in ideal situations. But this idea that, like, the perfect storm must arrive in order for creativity to manifest at its peak, like, sure, but in most instances, that's not how it works. And I've really I've been really mindful of just, like, do the work, just do it at any time. Don't give yourself an excuse as to why you can't do it. Like, just do it. So that got me thinking about, the time that I'm editing, what am I doing? The creativity element of it, of, telling a story. If I'm editing a testimonial video and I've got B-roll and sound effects and this and that and colors and text, and, like, that's creative. That I don't necessarily want to do at 9 p.m. But if you say, here's what you got to do, cut back and forth, listen to this, go back. There's nothing that requires my creative brain. It's literally just tasks. It's just steps. It's the work that I can write down and give somebody else to do. So this structured editing versus this creative editing, I could have never imagined walking up to a company, getting to know them, interviewing them, and then giving that to somebody else for them to create the story. That would never happen in a million years. I had never written out the plan to do that because I felt so much of that was intuitive creativity. Truth is, it's not. It's what's the catchy hook at the beginning? What's the most powerful line at the end? All right, cool. Where are the introductions? Where does this, hi big guy, where does this go? How does that go after that? What is this? What is that? So, oh my man. Naked butt. You're up early, dude. Huh? Have fun.
I don't want me to be down here.
Excuse me?
I don't want me to be down here.
Because you want to play and make noise, and it has to be quiet.
I'll be quiet.
Okay, we got to sit there. You got to be super quiet then. You can stay right there and be super quiet. I'll be there in a few minutes. You stay right there. Okay, structured. Yeah. Okay, so. Construction atlas. Construction. Yeah. Construction. Okay, you're not being quiet right now, though. You have to be quiet, yeah. Can I say it in your bed? Upstairs? Construction in your bed?
No.
You want me to go in your room and say it? Okay, go upstairs, and I'll come upstairs in a few. Okay, you stay there and be quiet then. Yes, 4-year-olds in flow. It's back again. Yeah, I'm starting to see the difference between the task and, you know, one of the parallels I always make is I have a camera, and sure, my camera shoots stills. The tool is the camera, but it does so many different things. And so to understand how to use the tool in the way that works for you, or the way that maybe doesn't work for you, or is a bit more challenging for you, or you got to kind of shift your mind in order to engage with it in that way. So I kind of see it the same. Like, sure, I'm sitting down at Premiere Pro, editing, doing the same tasks, but the way I have to go about delivering that task as a creative person, and the way I have to go about delivering that task as someone who's just going through the steps of delivering whatever, like it's a system at this point. It's just a system. So yeah, my brain did some thinking, and I've actually been really enjoying this late night kind of just like task-based editing process. I see the next few nights of next week me editing mad more videos in the evening. Just knowing, all right, let me just sit down and do it. 30-minute episode, take 45 minutes, 50 minutes to edit. All right, fine, cool, bang, 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 boom, done. I've never been able to edit at such a pace before. It always felt like it took so much work that I had to set myself up to be able to do this. I had to wake up early in the morning with undistracted energy to be able to deliver on creative things. And I still believe that to be true, but the work that I'm doing now, it just doesn't have, that creative element doesn't exist. Once these episodes are done, we got to go back through and figure out the fun. What does the text look like? What do the intros look like? If we're going to censor something, what does that look like? What are the visual transitions? Like, now that it's a bit more of a creative thinking. You did, it's beautiful. More of a creative thinking process. But right now, I don't have that. And it's interesting. This is like the most boring editing process, but there's something about it that I'm actually really enjoying because it's not requiring so much of me to do. Usually if I sit down at Adobe Premiere Pro, I leave with like a complete energy zap because what it requires of me is mind numbing but not in this case. So yeah, come up with your plan and then understand your plan and then deliver on your plan versus stepping into space, having a whole bunch of crayons and blank paper and going have at it. That's starting with scratch. Thinking process delivery is so much more difficult than follow steps A, B, C, and D. And I'm really, really happy that I've seen the difference and can clearly differentiate when I'm here and when I'm there and why I'm going there and what this is. And yeah, just think about it. Think about the tools you use and the processes in which you go about using those tools and how those tools and the processes may differ depending on the task. Because sure, it's a camera, sure, it's a computer, sure, it's software, sure, it's this, but it's woven together in a different way that a reimagination and a re-examination of who you are in that space might actually make you a bit more productive and enjoy doing what it is you grew a bit away from the enjoyment of. Yes, my beautiful son. I gotta do my outro, and then I'll be done and we'll be finished.